Okay. Hi, my name is Alyssa Sanchez, and I am in the KIN 335 class for Physical Activity and Aging. And today my topic is co-living with the elderly. So, my table of contents, I will start off by talking about the class lecture of older population demographics, as well as relating back to ageism, talking about the contribution to healthy aging, which is another class lecture. I also have a personal connection to this, which is why this topic means so much to me. And then I will be talking about the topic of helping older adults and some studies that I found towards this topic, along with some resources. So, the older population demographic slide. So, as we know, one out of every four people will be the over the age of 65 by 2030. I know that seems like that's far away, but it's actually kind of around the corner. Today, 14% of older adults are over the age of 85 years old. By 2050, 24% of older adults will be over the age of 85. The oldest old are increasingly more rapidly in the USA than any other age cohort. In this demographics, we see these increase around the year that we're in right now, so 2023. We see in 2020 how it spikes up from that much all the way to 2050. So how does older population demographics relate to my topic? Well, there's going to be an increase in regards to the population of the elderly, which means that there's going to be more older folks that are going to be in need of housemates. Ageism. This is another topic that we talked about in class. And so we know that ageism is a reality. It is a discrimination based on chronological age. It is use of age to define capabilities and roles. It is the basis for stereotyping a particular age group. This is the reason why younger people won't be open about rooming with older folks because they feel as if they have to be more as caregivers rather than housemates, which is why, vice versa, older adults also feel shame to ask younger people to co-live with them. From a study, there is one person that pointed out, as a society, we're not that accustomed to interacting with people outside of our generation unless they're within our immediate family. This is something that spiked my interest because I also, thinking about the topic, I never really thought about older people rooming with like random, like younger people. Usually you always see that it's like family. So it's a topic that sparked my interest, definitely. So, contribution to healthy aging. This is another topic that we talked about during class. I know we've seen this demographic. And so, what are the factors that contribute to healthy aging? Well, there's diets, genes, productive pursuits, exercise, and social activity. The social activity aspect is what relates back to my topic of co-living with the elderly, because social isolation and loneliness are associated with a high risk of dementia, and other serious health problems in older adults. Social activity is a huge factor in healthy aging and the longevity of life. Here we see an older man celebrating his 80th birthday, and the caption says, having positive social relationships can help people live longer. It is true, and I have a personal connection towards this, a perfect connection towards this. So, this is my great grandpa. He lived to be 101 years old. He was born in 1921. And so he would live from 1921 to 2023. He passed away this year in February from old age. And he lived with his family his whole life. He got to meet 14 great grandchildren. I'm the oldest of the great grandchildren, and the youngest is the one in his arms on the left. My great grandpa was not on no medications except for his allergy medications, and he never had a cane or a walker. This picture right here where he was celebrating his 97th birthday, a year after that, he had went to doctors and the doctor had told him that they recommended him using a cane because, he was old and he got really offended because he said that they were calling him old. So yeah, he was a very strong-minded man, such a happy man, one of the happiest people that I've ever met in my life. And that's actually one thing that he said that was the reason why he lived so long was because he was happy. He said he loved being with his nieces and nephews and daughters and just everyone. Helping older adults. This is also a lecture from our slides. And so the reason why I inputted this in my presentation is because I want you guys to know the advantages of living with older adults. And if you're considering co-living with older adults, why you can help them and why it's a big deal. So as we know, there are the risk of fall, which is a big factor, a contribution as to the injuries of older people. And so almost 1/3 of people age 65, over the age of 65, fall annually. It's a lot of people. In 2018, over 3 million seniors visited the ERs for fall-related injuries, resulting in over 800,000 hospitalizations and 50 billion in costs. Another one is cognitive issues. There's an estimated 5.8 million Americans over the ages of 65 living with Alzheimer's dementia. By 2050, the number of people 65 years of age with Alzheimer's dementia grow to be 13.8 million. And so if you co-live with older adults, you can help this statistic a lot. Studies. I researched a lot of studies that were correlated with this topic of co-living with the elderly. And so one of the studies that I found that people who had more social interactions lived longer than those who didn't. In fact, older people who were visited by friends and family even once a month were less likely to die. But living alone appeared to increase the risk of dying. Another personal connection that I had towards this, besides the research studies, is that my mom has been working at a senior facility for over 21 years. And this is something that she also noticed as well. It's a pretty obvious assumption that if these older people are getting visited by family, they're happier. And it has been like that. Being happy has it correlates to longevity in life. And so studies indicate that severe loneliness could lead to depression and even suicidal ideation, poor cardiovascular or heart health, and even increased risk of premature death. Some other studies that I researched was one talking about how having strong and supportive social relationships causes better in health and longer life, similar to the other ones. But these were scientific studies that found that strong social relationships were associated with increased likelihood of survival by 50% during the average 7.5 years of follow-up. It was a long study that was conducted. And there was also another study that found that the objective existence of family relationships and the subjective sense of having someone to call on or in need of just anything may increase the length of the life of a person expects by creating assurance about the future, by reinforcing healthy habits, and by improving current health. So action step, what are some resources? People can go to this website called Nesterly, which is a marketplace that helps connect older adults, host younger adults, tenants, and extra space in their homes. Thank you for listening. Let's make life happier for the elderly. And here are my references. Thank you.